Hey there, friends. David Miller, Phoenix, Arizona multimedia artist, educator. Welcome to my studio, Primordial Creative. I usually film in front of a boring old white backdrop. Thought I would kind of liven it up. You can see how I tape negatives to the wall, taking care of my materials. Have Kurt Vonnegut looking over my shoulder, staring at me every moment that I'm in my workspace. Hope it is a good day for you wherever you are in the world. It's perfect weather here in Arizona, and I've been back on social media about a week or so now, and encountering a lot of people worldwide who I wouldn't have talked to when I'm not on social media because I didn't travel anywhere during that time period. So I'm reminded of some of the benefits of connecting with people who are in other states, in other countries, and realizing that, you know, as much as it might be a time suck or, you know, an emotional and mental distraction, it has its value and it has its place. And I took some questions from people on social media. I had some people from YouTube over on Instagram asking me about a bunch of INFP creative kind of topics. So I'm gonna go through a few today. This particular video is gonna be about quitting though, because when I'm gone a long time on social media, and I think when other people are gone that are like models, photographers, illustrators, the assumption is that you quit, like you gave up your job or something by not showing up. And oftentimes, I'm sure like really creative people, especially ones who are deep into something like making a movie, they're so deep into it that they don't have time or they don't want the distraction of being on social media. But that's the thing I always get when I've been gone a while and I say I haven't taken any photos in 4 months, people are like, oh, you quit photography. I'm like, well, you know, quitting is relative. Certainly taking a break, being on hiatus, maybe like recovering from injury or financial stress, any of those things could be happening when people are off stage. You just don't know. But as INFPs and as creatives, we're very idealistic about the world. And when the world doesn't meet our idealistic expectations, or we feel hurt in pursuit of our creative endeavors, we are kind of dramatic people, and we're also intuitive and spontaneous. So that stew of personality elements makes it real easy to just say like, I quit, I'm done. This isn't what I thought it was. I have done all I can do. I've said all I have to say. Time to move on. This is over. And I'm thinking of a couple very famous INFPs who I have heard quit over and over and over their practice. They're both big heroes of mine. One is Sinead O'Connor, and how many times has she quit the music industry in favor of, you know, becoming a priest? How many times has she quit to become a journalist? I'm sure at the moments when she announced her retirement, her quitting, she felt like I have more passion towards this other outlet. I'm more interested in this other thing. I'm not interested in this one thing that people know me for. And I'm sure that Sinead, like many INFP creatives, has a wide array of interests, and sometimes some are more powerful than others. When we get known as one thing, I get known as a photographer, it kind of diminishes what I think are equal passions towards comics, animation, so on and so forth. And it's not necessarily the same audience at the same time. It's hard to say when I do another thing that I quit the first one. And that's kind of what's happening with Sinead. She quits. It turned out 2 days later, I figured out what the problem was and the problem got solved, so I don't quit anymore. Alan Moore is one of the other creatives that huge fan of. He recently retired from comics, but I'm sure I've heard him quit comics over and over and over and over again. Something happened that made him grouchy, that took away from his ideals for how business should be done, how creative partnerships should be done, what was done with material that he made, you know, decades prior and was just fine on its own, and now the company that owns that material is messing with it again. These are a lot of reasons why Alan has to make these pronouncements. I quit. I'm taking my ball and going home. Those are two examples of people who, you know, maybe announced their retirement, announced their quitting, and then retracted it, found another way back into the thing that they loved in the past. I want us to have a conversation about things we can say besides quitting that allows us to get off the hook. Because it's not even all about other people's perceptions. If you say you quit something, I quit this job, and you go back to it, sometimes you look like your ideals don't mean anything to other people, but other people might not even know how strong your ideals are to you. You're the one that knows how strong your ideals are supposed to mean to you. So if you quit a job because you had an issue with the boss, you feel like you have to go back to that job because you need the money, you think things can be better with the boss, that's all based on what's happening in the moment. Maybe you've changed, maybe the job has changed, maybe the boss has changed, maybe you went to therapy. So these are things we can say or do in lieu of announcing our quitting, because by saying quitting, one, it's like ultra negative, and two, we're painting ourselves in a corner that we might want to get out of later. And I want to throw in there that as intuitive, perceiving, introverted people, we are equally hard on ourselves, we're very spontaneous, and we move in the direction whatever we feel is best for us. Somebody who is a little more business savvy, very easily quits a job, quits a vocation, and leaves themselves a trapdoor, or doesn't hold themselves to a super high standard. They say, I quit, and then, like Larry David, they come back the next day to their job and act like they didn't quit at all. That's very hard for us. We want to have the reputation, both to ourselves and to other people, that when we say something, it means something. If I say this is the way it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. I'm not going to like flip the rules around or go back on my word the next day, because if I do that once, then everything I say is meaningless. To somebody who routinely is a salesman, a liar, someone who doesn't have like that strong ethical principles at the center of their core, they could say something on day one and then the totally opposite thing on day two and live with it, So that's a challenge for us. That's why I'm telling you, these are ways that you can quit without quitting. Erasing the word quit. Replace it with other phrases. For now, I'm not going to be doing this thing. For now, I can't do this job. For now, I'm just going to put the camera down for a little bit and go do other things. I need to work on something else right now is a good phrase to use with other people. People would say to me, you haven't been shooting lately. And I can very honestly say, I was passing a certification for a new job. I was interning to get that new job, learning some new skills. Maybe you just, whatever it is, I need to work on something else right now. Could be even as simple as you had to put in extra hours at a day job so you could buy the equipment to accomplish the other creative goal. But it isn't, I haven't been shooting, I haven't been drawing, therefore it's out of my life forever, Taking a hiatus, that's great. A lot of younger people definitely understand the mental health aspect of it. You're not a loser if you take a hiatus, believe me. The ebb and flow of creativity in my life, if I tried to make stuff when I'm at the low point, the ebb, if I'm trying to get out there, be social and shoot, and I've done that in the past, the work sucks anyways. So I already know that like I'm mentally or physically or financially not able to make work right now. There's gonna be a point coming up where those things won't be a problem and the work I make is gonna be, unburdened by those side concerns. So I feel like these are just a simple rephrasing of the word quit that allows us to deal with those moments, those times, and address people who, I don't really want to tell people all my business, but I realize that as an artist trying to communicate to an audience, trying to create work that maybe they purchase or they support some way, you have to answer a few of those questions. You know what I mean? You can't just stay super silent all the time, put the work out there anymore and expect it to communicate or find its audience or sell itself, whatever your goal is with your work. And Being honest with yourself and your audience is better for you in the long run, no matter what endeavor it is you're attempting to do. If you're trying to, become an Olympic athlete, or you're trying to create the next, set of works of Shakespeare, whatever it is. Honesty is the best policy for me, and I feel like if you are an INFP creative watching this, being honest and authentic in all things you do is important to you as well. So, best of luck in your creative endeavors. When you feel like quitting, take a break, make it a long break if that needs to be. It needs to be years, that's what it needs to be, but let's not be rash in our spontaneous, intuitive decision making. Let's rephrase it in a way that always leaves us with a get out of jail free card, if you will. Taking a hiatus, doing other things, moving on. I'll come back to it when I have a great idea. When I feel inspired, I can pick up these materials again. They're still gonna be there. They're not going anywhere. Best of luck to you in your creative endeavors, wherever you are in the world. Talk to you next time.